What gets lost far too often in the constant noise surrounding Prince Harry and Meghan is the simple human reality at the heart of this situation. When you strip away palace briefings, manufactured outrage, and the loud voices who treat parenting like an abstract theory, what remains is a father making decisions rooted in protection, not spite. Yet somehow that basic truth keeps being twisted into headlines that sound like they were written by people with no real understanding of responsibility. The latest narrative, doing the rounds, claims Harry is being difficult or dramatic for refusing to bring his children to the UK until meaningful changes are made. In some corners, prioritising safety has been rebranded as rebellious behaviour. Apparently, common sense has quietly exited the conversation. At the centre of all this is King Charles, a man often described as warm, affectionate, and genuinely engaged with the younger generation in his life. Over the years, countless accounts have painted him as someone who enjoys being a grandfather, someone who values quiet, ordinary moments that never make headlines but matter deeply. That's exactly why the physical distance between him and Archie and Lilibet feels emotionally heavy. That distance is not about favouritism, punishment, or emotional manipulation. It's about logistics, circumstance, and unresolved institutional issues that tabloids conveniently pretend don't exist. Anyone who has lived far away from loved ones understands that video calls are lovely, but they don't replace shared space, spontaneous laughter, or watching children grow in real time. That absence carries real weight. Where the conversation turns dishonest is in the suggestion that Harry and Meghan are withholding access out of bitterness. This isn't leverage. It isn't revenge. It's about safety plain, unglamorous, boring safety. The kind that doesn't sell papers but absolutely governs responsible parenting. Prince Harry has been crystal clear on this point, and he shouldn't have to repeat himself endlessly for adults to grasp it. His concerns are not hypothetical. They are shaped by lived experience, informed by trauma, and grounded in a lifelong understanding of what happens when protection is stripped away and vulnerability is ignored. The shadow of his mother's death is not something you can dismiss with an opinion column. It isn't a dramatic talking point. It's a defining life event that informs how Harry views risk, exposure, and responsibility. Anyone who scoffs at that reveals far more about their lack of empathy than about Harry's judgment. There has been discussion of a potential security review, and that detail matters far more than critics want to admit. It signals that this situation is not frozen forever. It suggests there is a pathway forward, one that allows Harry to feel confident enough to bring his children to the UK without constantly scanning the horizon for danger. Confidence in safety is not a luxury. It's the baseline requirement for any parent deciding where their children can be. No parent willingly places their children in a situation they believe to be unsafe, no matter how emotionally complicated the background may be. That isn't stubbornness. That's responsibility. When you view Harry's position through that lens, it stops looking controversial and starts looking painfully relatable. Despite what certain commentators insist, Harry is not rejecting his homeland. He isn't staging a dramatic standoff, and he isn't punishing his father. He's doing what parents around the world do every single day, balancing emotional ties against real-world risks and choosing protection over optics. It's also worth noting that reports suggest Harry's relationship with King Charles has been improving. Conversations have taken place. Progress has been made. That alone dismantles the claim that Harry is unwilling to heal old wounds. You don't engage in dialogue if your goal is permanent estrangement. But here's the part critics love to ignore. Emotional repair cannot be sustained if it requires someone to divide their life into separate compartments. Harry cannot move forward meaningfully as a son while pretending his role as a husband and father doesn't exist. Any connection that excludes Meghan and their children would always feel incomplete and fragile. From Harry's perspective, true reconciliation means acceptance, protection and respect for his entire household, not selective warmth that disappears the moment boundaries are enforced. Meghan's role in this story is consistently distorted, often deliberately. Her position is grounded in logic, experience and care. She has lived through relentless media hostility and invasive scrutiny. She understands the risks not as abstract ideas, but as realities that leave lasting scars. Her absence from the UK since 2022 is not defiance. It's caution informed by experience. The idea that only Harry and Meghan can fix this situation is a lazy oversimplification. Yes, they are the parents. Yes, their consent matters. But the conditions under which any visit would take place matter just as much. Security, respect and goodwill are not optional extras. They are foundational. When commentators suggest Harry should simply bring the children to restore harmony, they ignore the power dynamics at play. They gloss over the fact that Harry no longer controls his own security arrangements in his home country. They dismiss the legal battles he has pursued precisely because he believes the current situation leaves his household exposed. If anything, Harry's stance highlights his integrity. He is not asking for privilege. He is asking for protection. He is not demanding special treatment for vanity's sake. He is advocating for the same basic safety any public figure would reasonably expect for their children. From King Charles's perspective, the desire to know Archie and Lilibet more closely is completely understandable. That longing speaks to his humanity, not weakness. Wanting a relationship with all his grandchildren is natural. But this situation does not rest solely on Harry's shoulders. Institutional decisions, government policies and unresolved grievances all play a role. If there is genuine desire to bring everyone closer together, addressing Harry's security concerns would be one of the most meaningful steps forward. Harry's life today is full. It is rooted in purpose, stability and commitment to causes that extend far beyond titles. His work spans continents, his schedule is demanding, and his priorities are clear. That does not erase his connection to the UK. It reflects where he believes his children are safest and most at ease right now. His recent visits have shown that dialogue is possible and that progress, while fragile, exists. But that progress cannot survive if it demands that Harry leave core parts of his life at the door. Healing cannot be conditional. What often goes unsaid is this: Harry is not denying his children a relationship with their grandfather. He is delaying physical proximity until he can be assured of their safety. That distinction changes everything. It transforms the narrative from withholding to protection. The best possible outcome here is not one side winning. It's one where meaningful change allows trust to rebuild, where visits happen without fear, and where respect replaces resentment. That outcome benefits everyone involved. For Harry and Meghan, that future requires more than warm words. It requires action. It requires guarantees that boundaries will be honoured and that past patterns will not repeat themselves. These expectations are not extreme. They are the minimum any parent would demand. Archie and Lilibet are still very young. The environments they grow up in, the stress levels around them, and the sense of safety they experience will shape who they become. Harry and Meghan are acutely aware of that reality, and every decision they make passes through that filter first. As time moves forward, there is hope that solutions will emerge, concerns will be addressed, and trust can be rebuilt across generations. Until then, this story deserves compassion, not condemnation. Harry's insistence on safety is not an obstacle to reconciliation. It is the prerequisite for it. And before we wrap up, if you appreciate thoughtful, honest conversations that cut through the noise and refuse to swallow lazy narratives, make sure you subscribe to Sussex Insights. Turn on notifications so you never miss an upload, and help this channel continue bringing balanced, independent commentary to the conversation. Your support truly makes a difference.